Hello and welcome to the Matthew Allton Art channel again. It's been a little while since I've done a video. I've lost access to Adobe Premiere, so I'm doing this video using Adobe Express, which is a bit more clunky, I have to say. I will be getting a new laptop fairly soon, so a service will be resuming as normal fairly soon, I hope. Today's video is me creating a seascape of crashing waves. I'm using Arteza gouache paints and a small piece of Stillman and Birn beige paper. It's taped up at 11 by 11 centimeters, so very small. The piece is created in response to, again, a fortnightly art challenge on my Patreon. The topic that was picked by one of the patrons was movement, so I had it in my head that I would like to try and do some moving water. I was thinking of waterfalls, waves, all sorts of stuff, but I've plumped for some crashing waves. You can see that I've applied the sky to the top third of the paper, and I'm adding a bit of a gradation on that because of course the sky gets paler generally towards the horizon. It's a very, very sunny blue sort of day, not a cloud in the sky. You can see that I've added the distant sea there again, so it's very blue because of the blue sky. You can see how opaque the gouache is because the beige paper is covered entirely by that fairly pale blue sky at the top. It's very small painting, but it came together really, really quickly, about 45 minutes in total, including the drawing out at the beginning that you saw at the beginning. And the drawing out was only very basic, just mapping in roughly where some rocks were and the shape of the crashing waves, the white spray. I've now put the sea in, and I'm now going to add some rocks, the darks of the rocks. So I'm adding the darks first, and then you'll see that I will add highlights to the right hand side of these rocks generally, because the sun is coming from the top right of this scene. It's loosely based on a reference photo from the internet. I don't think you'd recognise it if I put them side by side. It is very loosely based. The reference is really used for just colour reference as much as anything else really. You can now see that I'm starting to add white, opaque white again, so you can see how easily it covers the beige paper. And that's for the spray of the crashing waves. You can see that I'm trying to make it lighter on the right hand side than on the left hand side where there's a shadow. And you can see I'm trying something a bit experimental for me here. I'm actually using my finger to flick white paint on in the direction that it might spray as it hits the rocks. So a very quick technique, and it works really successfully, I think. You can see that there's still some darker spray on the left hand side to indicate where the sun is coming from. Now starting to fill in the frothy water that's in between the rocks on the beach in the foreground, and now starting to add some of those highlights on the right hand side of those rocks, as I said earlier on. It's quite a large rock in the foreground there. I was really amazed, as I say, how quickly it came together, and it just sort of seemed to emerge from the end of the brush, this one. I'm not copying slavishly the rocks on the reference at all. I'm just looking at those and getting the effect, so the colour effects of the shadows on one side. You can see I'm adding some darker blues there onto the left of those bigger rocks, just to indicate the direction that the sun's coming from again. Again, trying to highlight the right hand side of that crashing spray there by making it lighter on the right hand side. Just adding white highlights in that frothy water at the foreground, just to make that sparkle. And also some more vibrant blues. And we're almost there, I think, now. Just using the brush to reapply some some lighter colour. And we're just about there, I think, now. Just a bit of titivation. Bit more shadow. And that's it, being signed. Well, this is the final painting. As I mentioned, overall I'm really pleased with it. It took very little time. It certainly is a good answer to the brief of movement, I think, with the crashing water. I hope you've enjoyed watching this, and I hope that it's given you some tips for creating a seascape yourself, and the colours that I've used, and the sort of techniques that I've used as well. I think it's a good indication, a good example of how you can indicate detail without being too specific about it. So it's a matter of looking at the reference and seeing the sort of character of the rocks, for instance, and recreating that without creating the exact same shape of the rocks and that sort of thing, but recreating that sort of tonal variation and the colours that you can see in the rocks on the original in your own piece of work. Observing those things will mean that your final piece will look as you want it to. Okay, well, I will leave it at that. I will hopefully create some more videos in the near future. As I say, I'm struggling a bit with the software at the moment, but hopefully I can do a few more before I get my new laptop. So watch this space. If you're new here, then do consider subscribing. That would really help the channel out. And do give the video a thumbs up if you've enjoyed it. Okay, well, I will see you on the next one. Bye.